So many awesome close games yesterday. Football is back. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome into Undisputed. I'm Jen Hale here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great. I know a game that wasn't close. Skip, I want to do a disclaimer. This is not to celebrate Dak injury, but I did go 3-0 against old Skip Bayless this week, old prognosticating Skip.
Yeah, you know what? I must admit, I was actually happy for you yesterday because I am such a 6-year due-winning dynasty on this show that it actually did the show a lot of good. That on opening Sunday, you won a few little battles, but of course I'm going to win the war because I got the Bucs winning it all. You got the Rams winning it all? Hey, really? Interesting.
Chargers look good. Did Chargers look good?
It's early. We got 16 more weeks.
Oh, you got 16 more weeks.
And by the way, why are you drinking that? Did you drink that with the refs last night in Carolina? That was absolute highway robbery. You stole. You must have paid off the refs in Carolina.
I'm hungover right now. I had a drink with Carolina, a drink with Tampa, a drink with Minnesota. Now I'm celebrating cheers.
Hennessy.
No, Laportier. They're better than Henny.
Really?
Yeah.
Henny.
Here, hold on.
Is that apple juice?
No, I don't want you to get distracted because you talk about you be distracted.
Oh, okay. I'm not distracted at all. I'm happy for you.
Whoa.
Way to go, Shannon.
How many cases
you
did I win?
finally got a couple right.
So I'm down to about 15 cases now. I would use up 30.
But remember, he who laughs last.
You got the Cowboys going to the NFC Championship game.
I do, and you've got Kirk Cousins going to the NFC Championship.
How did he look yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Well, just wait. You were so in for it.
We're going to talk about him a little later. We're going to talk about him. Your guy, Aaron Rodgers, how he look.
Yeah, he's now my guy, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I passed him on to you. You can have him now.
My LSU guy, Justin Jefferson, looked awesome alongside Kirk Cousins yesterday. And, guys, we will get to Baker and that Carolina game in just a moment. But first, we do have to address Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Is the Cowboys season over?
Well, Skip, they're not officially eliminated, but they are unofficially eliminated because, as you mentioned earlier, there are 16 games left. I do not believe, and it says the timeline is between 6 and 8 weeks. There's a chance that he can come back probably after the bye week. He missed, 6 weeks? I think they got a bye week, week 9. He missed up until that point, comes back out of the bye week. But if you look at their schedule, they got some uphill climbing to do. I think the biggest thing, Skip, is that when your quarterback goes down, your roster needs to be really, really talented to carry him. You remember when Peyton went down and Brock Osweiler started for 7 weeks, he went 5-2 because the roster was so immensely talented around him. Demaryius Thomas, and you had Emmanuel Sanders, you had Julius Thomas. Was Julius there? I don't know. Julius wasn't there. No. He wasn't there. He had gone by then. And then you look at the defensive side of the football. Skip, I don't think your offense is talented enough. We saw, again, another disappearing act from CeeDee Lamb. 11 targets, 2 catches. Your best receiver last night was Noah Brown, who's your special teams ace. Defensively, you have one guy that I worry about. That's Michael Parsons. Now, he's a lot to worry about, but you see what Tampa did. Skip, they put him in a situation where he's rushing the left tackle, and then he doesn't know Leonard Fournette is coming to chip, and Leonard Fournette chips him. That slows him down. And that
chipped him, rocked him, knocked him on his keister.
But he'll learn. He'll be able to sense that, Skip, and he'll be able to diagnose those things, Skip. But I don't believe it. Like I said, I'm not going to say officially because there's 16 games to go. But no team has worse odds considering they had so much going for them coming in. Skip Bayless told me everybody said this team is going to at least the NFC Championship game.
I didn't say at least. I just said that.
Oh, you said they were?
Yeah, I said they were going that far.
You must have been drinking something. Have you been in my room?
No.
Okay, because you must have been drinking something like Lil Wayne told me.
You must have been smoking something to say that Kirk Cousins is going to the NFC Championship. Yeah.
Oh, and Lil Wayne, he hit me up yesterday saying, hey, you got me, But Skip, look. It's going to be tough for you guys. Hell, if I didn't know better, I swore Dak hurt his hand in practice. Did you see the way he was looking before the injury?
Good point.
It wasn't, Skip, it wasn't like he was Patrick Mahomes yesterday. It wasn't like he was that, right? So for me, yes, I think unofficially it's going to be you guys. If you look at your guys' schedule, when you look at the Cincinnati, who's going to be chomping at the bit to get back in it because 5 turnovers by Joe Burrow, they had every opportunity to still win that game, lost that game. You still have the Rams on the schedule. You guys got some tough opponents coming up. And you got Green Bay on the road, you got Minnesota on the road, and I know what you're saying.
Rams on the road.
The Rams. So for me, Skip, I say it's unofficially. I don't want to say officially because, look, 16 games to go. But if I had to bet money, I bet you guys not making the playoffs. I would bet money on that.
Okay, it is now my turn to say, I'm going to just do it today. How about them Cowboys. They are not done. I'm here to have their back. I don't know if you were watching what I was watching last night, but what did I tell you through the whole preseason? This team will go as far as Micah Parsons, 11 from heaven, and that defense carried this team. And it very nearly carried them to victory last night over Thomas, Edward, Patrick, Brady, Jr., the GOAT, the best player in football, even now at age 45. At his greatest last night, he managed to score all of 19 points at Jerry. 19 points? Are you kidding me?
That's more than 3.
If you told me going in we would hold the GOAT to 19 on opening Sunday night, I'd say, thank you, God. NFC Championship game, here we come. And unfortunately, my quarterback did not show up. And it's not about CD. It's about Dak. It's about number 4, not about number 88, because of expectations. Every time, and it's my fault, I heap too many expectations on him. I shouldn't have plunged. I should have just kept my damned mouth shut.
You should have, but you didn't.
I didn't, and I jinxed him again because I put too many expectations, as the Hall of Famers tells me, on these shoulder pads of one Rain Dakota Prescott. And all it did last night was rain on Dak.
Yeah,
R-A-I-N, not R-E-I-G-N.
It was raining like it was in Chicago.
Yeah, it was. It was raining all over him. Yeah, and he was drowning in that rain last night because he went from throwing for 403 yards just 1 year ago against the GOAT at Tampa. Think about that. He threw for 403 in that game with 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. And last night, he was pathetic. It was one of the worst, and he's had some stinkers, so it's hard for me to go all the way to the worst. But under the circumstances, you could say it was the worst game he's ever played. Although that stinker in 2019 at Philly with all the chips pushed to the middle of the table was right up there with this one.
Well, he's had a couple of
He is capable. He's had a bunch of them. And you know and I know he is capable of this. He's also capable of 403. But last year, nobody expected anything from him because he was coming off career-threatening ankle surgery. And then in camp, he pulled his oblique muscle or whatever it was. I don't know what it was, but he couldn't throw in training camp. He had no reps throughout. He couldn't even scrimmage in training camp. And he shows up on opening Thursday night at Tampa and goes for 403 and had him dead to rights until you leave a minute and 24 seconds left for the GOAT to goat you. And that's what happened last year. So I'm thinking, well, can't he go throw for throw, blow for blow with Tom Brady?
No.
Well, no, he could not, and he did not.
But, Skip, you have to understand, you keep telling me last year they led the league in scoring, they led the league in yards, and he threw for 404, 403. But you do realize last year's stats aren't transferable into the new season.
Nope, they're not.
So now you keep telling me that you feel good about this. You scored 3 points. Forget what they held Tom Brady to.
Did you see what Micah Parsons did to Tom Brady twice?
Yes.
In the red zone, and the first thing Tom said in his post-game interview was, we got to clean some things up in the red zone. You can't clean up 11 from heaven. He's uncleanable.
Well, they're arrogant because they left the backup tackle to Skip one-on-one. So why would you do that?
Let's just real quick, let's show everybody what 11 from heaven did, because he's going to be on this show tomorrow, every Tuesday during NFL season, and I cannot wait to talk to him about what he did to Brady last night and what Brady said to him after the game. Could we see the first play? This is 3rd and 5.
Spin.
3rd and 5 from the 8. That's unblockable.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are, Tyron Smith, Donovan Smith, whoever you are. That's unblockable, and he gets him in the ankle and yanks him down, and it's a huge play because it's still 6-3 at that point because you made him kick the field goal. And then we got another red zone play. We got 3rd and 3 from the 4-yard line, 4:13 left in the second.
Now the backup's in.
And here we go again, and boom. He just speed rushes off the edge. And what did I tell you all last year? You have to put this man on the edge where he can do damage. He was born to rush the passer. They still stick him at linebacker, and he'll go sideline to sideline and run down backs who got loose on the flank.
But I think the thing was, Skip, and once he got chipped, if you notice, they put him to the right side. But I wouldn't put him against their best offensive lineman. Now, he might have a little success, but I like 72. I like the backup. I'm going to leave him over there and says, look, normally now when that back, he'll learn, Skip, when he sees the back to his side, there's a great chance that guy's going to chip me because you're special, Michael, and you need to understand that they're leaving that back there for a reason. Now, might get out in the pass pro, but he's going to chip your ass on the way out.
Okay, I got it. But those are 2 huge plays.
Yes.
Those aren't just meaningless sacks. Those are game-saving sacks.
Yes.
Those are clutch sacks.
Right.
It's hard to have a clutch sack because it's just hard to get a sack, period. So I told you, I think he can lead the league in sacks. I think he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. So he had 2 huge ones in 2 situations. They missed the first 36-yard field goal. They have to take the next short field goal. It was 29 yards.
Right.
So it's only 9-3 at that point because Micah kept saving Dak.
Yes.
Kept taking him off the hook in the hot seat.
But Skip, but unless you get scooping scores, unless you get pick sixes, how can you feel so confident in your offense? You scored 3 points. That's the fewest points you scored in the opening day since 1989. That was Jimmy's first year. That was Jerry's first year.
I was there. It was in New Orleans. Speaking of Jen, I was there. It was 28-0 with Herschel Walker on our side.
Yes.
And Jimmy took one look at that game and said, I think I'm going to trade his ass.
Did you guys, hold on, you guys didn't even score.
No, it was 28-0.
Yeah, okay.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That was the worst, the lowest point since before last night.
Yeah.
1989, Jimmy and Jerry's first year. Okay, so the point is, they said the break, it's at the base of his thumb. It's a tiny break. It was, as they say, clean. It's easy to repair.
Yeah.
So it's possible, depending on how quick a healer is. And my problem with Dak is he's starting to go what the old Cowboys used to call brittle.
Yeah.
Every time I look up, there's it started with the double surgery on the ankle, then it goes to the oblique, and then last year it goes to the calf, and then the other day at practice he turns his ankle again, and everybody's horrified, and then last night it's his hand, and he gets hit by Shaq Barrett. He got hit twice. I don't know which one did it, but one of them busted the base of his thumb. So you have surgery. He said he's got to go to the doctor today. They've already seen the X-ray. I wish they'd just have surgery today to speed the recovery.
Well, I thought they were going to have surgery.
No, he said, I got to go see the doctor and we'll decide what to do. Like, they got to go to a hand surgeon now, and he's not going to have surgery until he has a consultation with Dak. But whatever. The point is, I could see him, if he sucks it up and does all the rehab on time, that he could be back in a month. You can come back in a month. Worst case would be 6 to 8.
But here's the thing. Did you not see him last night? So you saw him before he hurt the hand. Do you really want him coming back 4 weeks in with an injured hand when he couldn't play well with a healthy hand?
Well, I would hope that he could heal it within a month to 5 weeks. That would be optimal. But I will say this, speaking of Kirk Cousins, I watched my backup quarterback last year when I least expected it. His name is Cooper Rush. Not Cooper Kupp, but Cooper Rush. He's not maybe Cooper Kupp in performance, but he's a pretty good Cooper Rush. I watched him go up to Kirk Cousins' building in Minneapolis at Minnesota, and would you believe he went 24 of 40 for 325 yards, 2 touchdowns, just 1 pick, had a QBR just under 50, but it was good enough to win a game 20-16 because Kirk Cousins was not very good. He out-QBR'd Kirk Cousins in his own building. And guess what the immortal Justin Jefferson had in that game against my defense? He had 4 targets, 2 catches for a grand total of 21 yards, one of them an 18-yard catch. And Dallas moved at that point to 6-1 because their backup quarterback actually played at least as well as the starting quarterback.
He did, but if you look at the Vikings yesterday, that defense looks a lot different. With Zadarius Smith, Danielle Hunter, those guys can get after your quarterback now and put pressure. Jefferson seems different. He says, I want to be the best receiver. He said, I'm going to give Devontae his credit as being the best receiver in football, but that's only going to last 1 more year. He went out. O'Connell did a great job, had him in a lot of 11 personnel, 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers, which is one of the staples of the West Coast system because they're trying to flood everybody, get everybody out. But the one thing they can do that a lot of teams can't do in that personnel is that they can run the football with Dalvin Cook.
Okay. Be that as it may, all I know is all of a sudden my offense started to percolate last night when the backup quarterback came in. all of a sudden I'm looking up saying, well, wait a second, I'm seeing some life, some urgency.
You know what happened? It was 4 minutes left in the game, Skip. Okay. Everybody said nothing cheap, nothing deep. They had backed off. Stop it.
Rush is not afraid to make throws and make plays. He was just going bombs away, trying to hit Fihoko down the field.
He's going bombs away, trying to force feed your guy.
So all I need is for him to pull off a couple of unexpected wins. That's all I need, just a couple. When you least expect it, I need Cooper Rush to stand tall, come up big, and win a couple of games, and he's got the two sitting there, Chicago and Detroit, at home.
Did Detroit not look good yesterday?
They were down, 38-14 at one point.
And came back and had an opportunity. If they could have got the one stop, could have got the ball back with a chance to either tie or win the ball game. They scored 35.
The Eagles went up and down the field on them. The Eagles, what did they have, like 230 yards rushing?
Oh, that means they could go up and down the field on y'all, too.
Okay, well, they might. But because we have one, I think it's a night game, Monday night game, at Philly coming up in the schedule. Yes. So the point is that I believe Cooper Rush could get us to 4-4. And if we're 4-4,
no chance.
And Dak comes back, you, my friend, are in big trouble. What? You, who did pick the Dallas Cowboys to win the East, are in big trouble.
You want to put some dew on that Cooper Rush can't get y'all to 4-4?
Nope, I'm not going to, because I'm not going to jinx them anymore. I'm not going to jinx them anymore.
They unjinxable. You just told me a week ago
I've got their backs, but I'm not going to heap more expectations on Cooper
I don't need
Rush.
to skip. Oh, no. That's not how a fight's supposed to work. See, you want to be an ally. I see, with me, I don't want allies. I want accomplices. I want somebody to stand to side or stand in front of me. That way I know. You talk, I got their back. You an ally. No, I need you to step to the forefront and say, yes, Cowboys, I'm going to bet Shannon Sharpe 10 cases of dew on your behalf.
I already did that, and I jinxed them. And I'm not going to jinx them anymore. I'm not. I went through the whole offseason saying, no. A watched pot never boils. They don't. When I start watching them closely, they don't boil. I'm going to back off and say, oh, no, they're done. They're done.
The thing is with your Cowboys, Skip, when you watch them, the only thing that boils is your blood. Because I know eventually you're going to get upset. Now, I love the way you remain calm today. I mean, you must be had a great pep talk with Ernestine, and she said, Skip, I need you to remain calm. It's just one game of the season. You say, you know what, Ernestine? You know what, babe? You're right. I'm going to remain relatively calm. But I know you seething inside.
My defense held Tom Brady to 19. I'm good to go.
Skip.
My defense is going to keep me in every one of these games.
Skip.
Every one of them. And Micah Parsons is going to wreak havoc.
Okay, what about this?
He's another unblockable. He's the closest thing I've seen to Lawrence Taylor since Lawrence Taylor. You can try anything. You can chip him. He'll figure this out. He's just too explosive.
But what about your offense?
You keep talking it out.
They scored 3. They scored 3 points in a 60-minute ball game.
I got to tell you, Ezekiel Elliott started looking like Zeke to me last night, and maybe they can start to hand the ball to him a little more than they did, because he deserved more than 10 carries because he had 52 yards on 10. That's 5.2 a crack. I want to see more. It looked like he reasserted himself as the bell cow back. I didn't see that much from Tony Pollard. I was hoping to see a little bit more, but all of a sudden I'm thinking Zeke's starting to look like Zeke. He's lost so much weight. He looks miniature out there compared to what he used to look like.
The fact of the matter is, Skip, is that I don't believe Tampa, because they're a very solid run defense, they weren't overly concerned with Zeke. They wanted to get after Dak and cover up the wide receivers, in which they did a very good job of that. And that's the problem that you're going to have.
Okay, I'm going to remind you, Michael Gallup's going to be back sooner than later. James Washington is going to be back sooner than later. You, my friend, are going to be in trouble sooner than later, because all this is going to start to turn around.
You name guys. None of those guys are Jamar Chase.
Gallup? He's not a guy.
None of those guys are Jamar Chase. None of those guys is Justin Jefferson or Tyreek or Cooper Kupp or Devontae Adams or Keenan Allen. You name the guy. Michael Gallup, he's a good player, but he's not a game changer. The other guy you named is not a game changer.
All I know is my kids on the left side of the line, they stood up and bawled last night. I thought Tyler Smith was really good for a first start, for a raw rookie out of Tulsa, of all places, to stand up and get after Shaq Barrett and whoever else they wanted to put over there. I thought he played his tail off.
I thought he did a very good job also. There was a couple of plays that he kind of missed, that he and the other offensive lineman, or he and the back, got confused on, and they let the guy...
Okay, so remember, Connor McGovern goes out like in the second series. Was it the first series or second? It was like first series. He's out, and I don't know his status. I don't know if he's going to be back. But that Matthew Farniok, I watched him a lot in preseason. He is not afraid to hit people, and he's out of Nebraska, a 7th-round pick of 2 years ago, and I thought he stood tall and stood up for himself. But unfortunately, a couple times they played so little football, certainly together, they got confused. And a couple times they would let somebody just run free.
Exactly.
Okay? That won't work.
Skip, the thing is with Tampa is that what we look at Tampa now, they can't rush the quarterback like they once could. Remember when they had JPP and they had Shaq and they had Ndamukong Suh and they had guys that can continuously get pressure and they could get that pressure without having to sacrifice the back end. Well, now those guys just can't rush. Shaq Barrett had that one great year rushing, parlayed that into a franchise tag. They win the Super Bowl. He gets a big contract, but he's not the same guy, Skip.
I don't know if those kids they got. Every time I looked up, another kid was all over Dak.
No. Try number 9. I mean, the back end, the secondary is solid. And CD found that out. Those 2 linebackers will track you down. I love Levante David in pass coverage. Devin White is Devin White. I love him blitzing because he's going to blow up your running back. But you at least got to try. Skip, that's one of the reasons it's hard to play Pollard. Because he's so small, and when they bring a secondary rusher, Skip, it's almost like, I'm like, bruh, you got to stick your nose in there. I understand. It's hard. Close the distance.
Either he can't or he won't.
one
of the two. I don't know which it is.
You can't play him because he gets your quarterback hurt.
I totally agree. And Zeke is at the top of my list. He and Emmitt Smith both. They were all-time great at blitz pickup.
Yes,
because they rock people.
I played with a guy named Clinton Portis. That shot that Leonard Fournette, he was the best that I saw at chipping and picking up the blitz. Man, but Skip Pollard, I know you want him to play, but Skip, it's hard to play him if he don't know what the hell he's supposed to be doing on pass protection because the most valuable commodity you got is the quarterback. And if he don't get him protected, you can't let free runners come attack your quarterback like he was doing last night. It was like he was timid.
All I know is Kellen Moore did not have a great night either because there's so many other options here that they didn't take advantage of, starting with little turpentine. You have to figure ways to get the ball in his hands in space.
Skip.
Why not? Skip. He doesn't do anything.
Skip, you do realize that Godwin did not catch that ball. That ball skipped on the turf. Why didn't he challenge it?
I don't know. I actually thought he did pick it up off the turf. I thought he fingertipped it up off the turf. But I didn't think the turf helped, but it was close.
But you see those
Unfortunately, he pulled his hamstring or whatever happened to him.
When those pebbles comes up, that means something.
I know, but I thought he got fingertips underneath.
And then we got another 10 penalties. Skip, you either coaching that or you're condoning it. Which is it?
Okay.
Do you coach them to do that or do you condone the behavior once they've done it and don't say anything to them? Another 10 penalties. You see where this is heading?
And finally, if I may throw this last point in, I don't need to out-cute people because on the opening drive, when I least expected it, because it looked like on the opening drive, it's going to be like it was last year. What was it, 31-29?
Yeah.
It looked like we were headed in that direction.
32-29.
Yeah, 32. Was it 31 or
No, you guys ended up winning by 2 because you took a 1-point lead.
But the point was, we go cute in the first drive, which was the deepest drive by far of the whole game, went all the way to the 31. But we tried 2 trick plays that just blow up.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they're doing.
Not that early in the game. There's a time and a place for trick plays, Skip. I don't know if they're that early in the game. Let the game play out. You hadn't even set them up for the trick play, Skip.
No, and we didn't need to trick them because we were just forcing it right down their throat. I don't know. Look at this trick play. What is that? I don't even know. And you don't think that's a drive killer, like it just kills momentum?
That's a little bad. It just kills you.
They tried Pollard on this weird play where they had him in the Wildcat faking to Zeke, and it went for nowhere. It went for -1. Yeah. So the point is, you don't need to trick anybody. You got enough. You can figure it out. You can meat and potatoes them to death, and you had them on the ropes and on the run, and you let them off the hook.
Your offense is in trouble this year, Skip.
No.
Your offense is in trouble.
We're going to be okay.
Your offense is in trouble.
You can't go from leading the league in points and yards to nothing.
Yes, you can because it doesn't transfer. But can you imagine how good you guys would have been if you'd have had Von Miller? I'd have been scared, Skip. If you'd have had Von Miller on the other side of...
We got better than Von Miller.
But no,
we got Micah Parsons.
You would have had Von Miller and Micah Parsons.
Okay, we still got...
What?
D-Law. And he made a couple of plays last night.
Man.
Yep. He holds up his end of the bargain.
No.
We're going to be just fine because people are going to have a hard time scoring on the Dallas Cowboys.
And the Dallas Cowboys.
Doomsday 2.
And the Dallas Cowboys are going to have a hard time scoring on teams.
You hope.
I get to 7. What you going to get to?
You should go ahead and gloat today and get it all out of your system because you're going to have a long, hard
season. I got my money green on because I was money in the picks yesterday.
You believe we have 16 weeks to go?
I should have went to Vegas the way I was picking them games yesterday, Skip.
Yeah. You had one hot day. Way to go.
Shannon,
Congratulations. And one was really, really lucky.
Every week.
All-time robbery in Carolina.
Don't do that, Skip.
Well, I'm going to do it. Do it. I didn't do it. They did it.
We're going to get
the
to
refs
that
did
in
it.
just a second, guys. But, hey, Skip, the choices, at least on the roster right now for your Cowboys, the aforementioned Cooper Rush, a 2017 undrafted free agent out of Central Michigan, or there's Will Greer of former West Virginia fame on that practice squad. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.